Hey everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here with you once again. Today we're going to have a look at how to play the Hollies classic, The Air That I Breathe, from 1974. Now, I was watching the movie Heretic, the one with Hugh Grant, the other night, and this song played a rather prominent part during one of the scenes. And then it got stuck in my head for a couple of days, so I figured that I'd sit down, learn it, and pop out a tutorial for it, and here we are. Great movie, by the way, highly recommended. I'm turning into a film critic now. The scene that I speak of is definitely a highlight of the whole film. Regardless, let's close in here a little bit, get started with The Air That I Breathe and the Hollies. Alright then, The Air That I Breathe and the Hollies from 1974. We are in standard tuning for this tutorial. First, need to talk a little bit about the tuning of this one. The studio version of this one is a little bit flat of standard tuning. Not quite down a half step, but it is flat of standard. There are numerous live videos of the band performing this one. Sometimes they're in standard tuning, sometimes they're tuned down a half step, sometimes they're tuned down a step and a half. All over the place, right? And there are instructors on YouTube who will teach this with a capo on the 3rd fret. Now, a lot of this is acoustic, right? It's acoustic and electric playing together. I'm going to show you how to play it all on this guitar in standard tuning without a capo, because we're going to have little solo-y bits to deal with and whatnot. But I've watched a number of live videos of the band performing this one in both the electric and the acoustic guitars. Not a capo in sight. Now, maybe they did in the studio, but it can easily be played without a capo. Like the opening chord here, underneath, the rhythm underneath the opening guitar solo is a C sus2 chord, right? Now, if you had a capo on the 3rd fret here, you just have to hold those two notes, right? I'm just going to bar the 3rd fret here from the A string on up, right? C sus2. We're just going to hang in that for a bar, right? With that kind of strumming pattern, it's kind of like down, down, up, up, down, down, up, down. And that's pretty much the strumming pattern throughout all of this, right? Right? And then we're going to move off to B flat major. Bar chord here, right? Try to get right down to the high E string and cover that with the bar, right? So that's a B flat major 6 chord actually, right? Now the capo might make that a little bit easier to play, but right, and then back into C sus2 again, and back into the B flat major 6. And then just before dropping into the verse, we're going to just grab a quick little quietly strummed F major chord, right? Now over top of that is the intro solo. It goes something like this. So C major scale is what we're using here. We're starting on the 12 of the G. Full step bend, release it off the 10 of the D, let it ring for a bit. Then you're going to do a trill between 8 and 10. Like 6 times, nice and slow. Into that. So after the trill, we're going to grab the 9 of the G, slide it into 12, and then catch the 12 of the high E and let those notes ring together. Then we're going to do another trill, this time between 10 and 12 of the G. Nice and slow, 6 times, and then jump up here to 15 of the B. Give it a full step bend and a light pick at the top, right? And that's the intro solo. Off to 10, right? Trill. That little lick right there, another trill. And then that bend on the 15 of the B, right? And then we're into the first verse. And like I said, that's going on over top of that C sus2 into the B flat major, right? And then F major, and then we drop into the first verse. So the verse is 4 chords. C with this G note in the bass on the 3rd fret of the low E. Same strumming pattern, right? Down, down, up, down, up, down. 2 bars of C off to 2 bars of E major, off to 1 bar of F major, into 1 bar of F minor, and then back to 2 more bars of C. That's the verse, and then you're going to repeat that again. C, 2 bars, at this point, after two run-throughs of the first verse, right? First and second verse, I suppose, there's a little section of the song that kind of sounds like a pre-chorus, but it doesn't lead into a chorus, it just leads into another verse, and then it's never repeated again throughout the track. It's a bit of an odd little section of the song. We're going to go off to E minor for 2 bars, into F minor, and then back to C for 1 bar, and repeat E minor, F minor, back to C, right into the next verse. To E major again, right? Into F major, F minor, into C. Right into the chorus. So the chorus is going to be 2 bars of C up to a bar of G, repeated 3 times. That leads into the mid-song guitar solo and trumpet solo. So the rhythm going on underneath that guitar and trumpet solo, we're going to come out of that G, the third time we went to G during the chorus, third and final time, right? We're going to go into G minor, off to F major, and then back to C, and then back to regular G, and then back to G minor for the trumpet solo, off to F major, back to C, and back to G, regular G, right? You just repeat that pattern twice. The first playthrough of that is the guitar solo, the second playthrough is the trumpet solo, and that just leads right back into another verse, where there's only 1 verse the third time, and it drops right back into another chorus. So the mid-song guitar solo is that right there. Still in C major, starting on the 13 of the B string. Just a little bend release off to 11 up to 12 of the G. And then you're going to grab that 13 of the B again, give it 2 bends, and then release it. Right? And then we're into this. So we're sliding into 14 of the G, 13 on the 15 into a full step bend of the B string. And then you're going to grab the 15 of the high E after you bend the 15 of the B, release that bend off to 13. And then we finish the solo with this. So we're going to go 14, 13 again from G to B. Full step bend to the 15, release it back to the natural note and pick it. And then on the 15, little bend release, and then you're going to give it some nice wide vibrato. Kind of like that, right? Right, so that whole solo put together. Right into the next verse. say that was the final chorus? It's not the final chorus. We're going to drop into one more short solo and then back into the final chorus. So the final solo is almost exactly the same as the second solo. However, instead of a little bend release of that 13, we're going to bend it like 6 or 7 times. And then release it, right? And then it finishes the exact same way. Right? And then into the final chorus. Again until fade out. And there you go. That is how you play The Air That I Breathe and the Hollies. Certainly hope you enjoyed that, found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button right down there. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that'd be very kind. Hope you're well out there, and we'll see you next time, yeah? Cheers.